Hi, I'm Mehul Hari with Developer Express, and today we're going to take a look at how to use the ASPxBinaryImageIntro. It lets you display images directly from the database. But before we see how to use it, let's take a look at how a current situation is to display the image. So if you want to display an image, it takes a little bit of work. So let's take a look at how we do that now. So let's say I wanted to display some of the pictures that are in a database. In our example here, I'm going to use the employees table of the Northwind database, which contains a field called photo, which contains an image of certain employees. So I'm going to display some items like first name, last name, and birth date, and then I enabled a preview row so we can show a picture of them as well as a description next to it. Now, normally when you want to show an image, we'd use a tag. Here we can see we have the image tag, which we're going to use to show off the employee. But you'll notice something particular here, which is that the image tag has the source to point to the page itself, the preview page, and we're passing in a parameter of photo with the employee ID as a parameter. So we're going to be using the employee ID as a URL parameter. So if we take a look at the code behind here, we can see that on the page load, we're first checking to see if that parameter was passed in. And if it was, we're going to be calling a method called postImage. And we can see here postImage is actually going to be calling a couple of methods here, findImage and writeBinaryImage. FindImage is actually going to go and grab the picture from the database using the employee ID we passed in. And then writeImage will be writing the binary image back to the page as a image JPEG type. So let's take a look at this in action. So here we have our list of employees that we've displayed, as well as a preview picture of them and a description of them as well. So let's take a look at the item that we're passing in and how this is actually rendered. If we actually pass in a value for photo, then we can see that it's going to retrieve the image and write it to the page now. So when preview is called with a photo parameter when the employee ID passed in, the picture is returned. So this picture is actually used. So this is the picture that's used in these locations here. So as you can see, if the picture doesn't reside on a file somewhere on your web server, or you can't link to it as a URL, you actually have to write the image out from the database so that we can display it. So as you saw, it takes a little bit of work. First, you have to get the image from the database, then you have to display it, you have to render it, because if a image doesn't exist on a file or a URL somewhere, that you can't link to it, and an image control like the ASPX image or a standard image tag won't be able to display it. So the ASPX binary image takes care of all of this for us. And let's see how we can use that by simply replacing the image tag. So let's take a look at how we can make this much easier without having to write all those methods and just use a simple control that we can display images directly from the database. So to make it easier to display the image directly from the database, we won't need to use this image tag anymore and pass in a URL parameter. In fact, let's simply remove the image tag altogether and replace it with a ASPX binary image. And we'll bind the binary image, its value property, to the photo column. Now this binary image will take care of the work that all the server-side methods like this was generating for us. So let's remove these methods now since we don't need them anymore. And let's take a look at the grid in action again. So here we see that we have the same display with the image, and the ASPX binary image will generate this for us. Now if we take a look at the photo parameter again, we can see that it's not being checked because we don't need to parse that anymore, and the binary image is actually taking care of displaying the pictures for us. So as you saw, the ASPX binary image takes care of all the heavy lifting for us to display an image from the database. Thanks for watching.